What a headshot! What a head!
How's it, guys? This is Dayvy, FPL, and welcome back to the Fantasy Premier League video here on my channel. Now in this video, I'll be taking you through my very own transfer plan for the upcoming double Game Week 33. So the back-to-back doubles are upon us. It's now stage for the second double Game Week 33, a week that I don't plan to actually use a chip. Now you guys are probably different. You're probably activating that bench boost as we speak. And this is basically a week to try and hold my rank without activating a chip. So not super confident. I think those of you guys on the triple caps and the bench boost are going to have a great week. Even those of you guys on the Fiat should have a pretty interesting one. But getting back to my team, as mentioned, no chip, and therefore all my transfers will be on the starting 11. And with some current injuries, I plan to use both potentially for the upcoming game week. Before that, I'm going to take a quick review of how Game Week 32's double is currently going, and then I'll be jumping into all that goodness for double Game Week 33. So if that's something you guys are interested in, sit back, relax, and let's get straight into it. Now the reason I won't be bench boosting in Game Week 33 is because I bench boosted in Game Week 32, and that game week is obviously still going on. Now I'm recording this on Monday evening right before the Bournemouth and Fulham game, and therefore I do expect the rank to drop slightly after that. At the moment though, with the bench boost we're on 60 points total and a rank rise to 53k, which is quite disappointing. I hope that with the bench boost I would have been into the top 50k. It is still quite a large green arrow though. Let's see where we do land up though in the team selection late in the week, as we do have one game still left in Game Week 32, and that's obviously Crystal Palace taking on Newcastle. So at the moment, let me know how your game week is currently going. What's the overall rank looking like? How many points are you guys on? And have you actually used the bench boost in Game Week 32? Now let's start off with that bench boost chip, and you guys can tell me if you think this is a dub or an L. As you guys can see, Edison, Mamush, Guardiola and Kiwior all ending on 14 points. Now throughout my previous seasons, I've always said that 15 points minimum is what I would require on a bench boost, so therefore I think this bench boost is probably going to be an L. I've even started to get jealous of you guys on the Game Week 33 bench boost after seeing a few over on Twitter. I think after next week we can kind of justify if this was going to be a good bench boost or not. But as mentioned, let me know in the comments down below, do you think 14 points is enough for a successful bench boost? It was literally only Mamush and Edison carrying our bench. Now if you guys have been following my transfer plan, you'll know I brought in the Arsenal centre-back Kiwior instead of going for someone else like a Milinkovic or going for also a Stupinan. Pretty happy I went with the Arsenal man though after all three lost the clean sheet. At least Kiwior saves me an extra transfer for Game Week 33, as I probably would have gone for him as my Arsenal defender of choice. Then you guys know what happened with Guardiola. Started off losing 2-0 to Crystal Palace, came back and won 5-2. I think if he got one attacking return, I would have considered this to be a dub. Ironic that our goalkeeper from Man City, Edison, actually got an assist. The most unfortunate thing though is him coming off injured in the second half though. Finally, Mamush also got a goal, was expecting more considering that Man City scored 5 goals, but he held on to 1 bonus point just. So I think if maybe Arsenal or maybe Guardiola got an attacking return, this would have been a dub, taking us over that magical 15 number. At the moment though, as mentioned, I think this is a slight L, would have hoped for a few more points. Let's just see how that Game Week 33 bench boost goes. Now this starting 11 I did consider to be my kind of full strength starting 11. You guys can debate with me whether you think one of these players should have been on the bench. I think I picked my bench boost pretty honestly, and you guys helped me out in the deadline stream before Game Week 32. So my chosen goalkeeper of Verbruggen, I think he had the better fixture. Leicester was definitely better than Edison's Crystal Palace, and he lost the clean sheet and going down to 2 points. Now, I was expecting more from this Brighton team, but with Van Hecker out with that suspension, they might have been a little bit susceptible. And that also includes Neco Williams, who just lost their clean sheet right at the end of the game. Now Everton at home I thought was a pretty strong fixture for the majority of the game. It looked like a clean sheet, and therefore quite happy I didn't go for the double up with Milinkovic. No attacking returns this week for Williams as well, which is quite disappointing. Wasn't expecting Forest to drop points against Everton. Then Dan Burn, our only player that has a double in our defense at the moment. He obviously started the first game with the 2-pointer. United scoring in the first half to wipe out the clean sheet. Now I'm just waiting for that Dan Burn goal to maybe offset his Livramento points from last week. It hasn't come yet. He did have a chance though off a set piece. Maybe it comes against Crystal Palace. The final option, Saliba, I backed the Arsenal defense more than the Man City one, especially because I own so many Crystal Palace attackers, so that's why I went for Saliba over Guardiola. Now you guys know what happened, they lost their clean sheet, was pretty disappointing, but as a Liverpool fan, quite happy that they dropped points against Brentford. I did play it quite boring though, Saliba plus Kiwior just kind of backed the centre backs, knew they would probably start, and that came true with Timber being on the bench. So overall our defense was very disappointing, let's just hope that Dan Burn doesn't drop a 0-pointer, otherwise it will be a full house of 2-pointers. Now going into our midfield department, we did have our single game week players, Mo Salah with an assist, could have had more here though, but at the end of the day Liverpool scraped a win against West Ham. The most interesting fact was actually Salah being subbed before the 90th minute mark, a little bit surprising there, especially when Liverpool play literally no other football but Premier League football. So I was kind of expecting Salah to play the entire game. Look, he played the majority of it, so not much concern there, but he has dropped off in form, only 1 assist over the last 3. It might just be our single game week players though, because Cole Palmer has also been pretty bad. He did manage an assist though in that Ipswich draw. Unfortunately, also yellow card taking him to a 4-pointer. Had a few more expectations, and he's only outperformed Saka I think by 1 point over the last few weeks. So yes, that's right, a player that hasn't even started 2 of the last 3 is still scoring basically the same points. Kinda wish I went for him and saved the extra transfer for next week. Then our double up of Eze and Sarr, they scored the first goal, Eze got the goal, Sarr the assist, and they still have the Newcastle game coming up. So at the moment, quite happy that I did go for Eze over someone like a Munoz with that extra attacking threat, just didn't rate those Crystal Palace defensive fixtures. Let's see what they can do, fingers crossed Eze does a bit more though, as he is more differential than Sarr is. Then also the GOAT Murphy got a 5-pointer, only 1 assist in that Newcastle win. They scored a bunch of goals, but I didn't own many of the attackers. 1 fixture left though, it's the same fixture, Newcastle versus Crystal Palace. Do favour Newcastle from an attacking point of view. Then our captain Isaac, also like Murphy, got 1 assist. I'm pretty sure your triple captain has won a bit more from him in the second fixture. He did have a few chances though, there was one especially with that Bruno goal that he could have assisted. Isaac might just not be on the best of form after dropping off with that injury recently. Still high expectations though, 1 fixture left, at least it's not a blank, but I'll be hoping that he stays a bit quiet for all you triple captainers. Then the final player, probably the biggest talking point, was Mateta being subbed off at halftime. No injury there, it was purely tactical. Just seems like Glasner was playing a bit of hardball, he wasn't winning those aerial threats, and therefore he was subbed for the 1-pointer against Man City. Now I'm pretty sure that he'll be back in the squad for Newcastle, might be a slightly different tactical game. I still back him to do well in this fixture. Quite unlucky if you guys did go differential captaincy or triple captaincy on the Frenchman. Isaac definitely was the safer option though. So Mateta's 1-pointer as well as the bench boost takes us to an overall 60 points. We still have a bunch of players left to feature on Wednesday though. As mentioned, let me know in the comments down below, how's your game week going? If you are on the bench boost, how many points did you guys score? And do you think 14 points is an L or a dub for this week? But now let's go on to that double game week 33 team. As mentioned, no bench boost, no free hit, no triple captain. This is purely a week of saving rank. Now at the moment, I do have 2 free transfers and 1.4 in the bank, so a little bit of an upgrade can be made if you want to do it. Now the bench this week kind of picks itself. I think Verbrugge and Brentford away is the worst of the fixtures, and then we have the Newcastle double up of Murphy plus Burn against Aston Villa. Now I actually do think that Murphy can do pretty well here. Aston Villa might be tired after that second leg against PSG, so even though they have a good fixture, I'm not going to play them over my double game week players, as well as Neco Williams against Spurs, which might be a clean sheet. Now between the sticks, we'll talk about this in my transfer plan. I just hope that Edison is back from injury, as his double looks pretty decent. I think at least one of those 2 should be a clean sheet, probably the Everton game, but with him out injured currently, don't exactly know if he'll be ready for game week 33. I do still have some Man City defensive coverage, Guardiola with the same fixtures, and then my Arsenal double up with Ipswich and Crystal Palace. So like last week, it's the same. I'm hoping that my defenders keep a clean sheet against my attackers. Hasn't been like that in game week 32. Both these 2 options though, out of the defenders, more confident that they should be starting, but let's see what happens on Wednesday against Real Madrid. Then our midfield department, we do have our 2 single game week players, Salah against Leicester and Palmer against Fulham. However, as you guys know, Palmer's probably on the way out. I do back Salah to do well here, could be a differential punt if you guys do want to go there, as Camsey this week might be pretty split. Once again, Crystal Palace's fixtures aren't great in the double, Bournemouth at home plus Arsenal, and as mentioned, hope they blank in the second fixture. Then up front, currently playing Isaac, I think that him and Murphy could do pretty well, as long as Aston Villa are pretty tired after their Champions League game. Now with those 2 free transfers, I guess replace Isaac or at least bench him this week, as Newcastle's fixtures after the blank aren't that great. Mateta, same Crystal Palace fixtures, they're looking pretty tough, and finally Mumush, our captain at the moment, with the best fixtures for our attackers. Now at the moment the team does look pretty okay, as mentioned though with Edison's injury we could be forced to use a transfer, as I don't really trust Verbruggen against Brentford. At the moment, what would you guys change if this was your own team with 2 free transfers? Let me know in the comments down below. Now in terms of the transfer plan, this week might be down to Edison if he is okay, if maybe Pep in the press conference says that he is fine. Even if he starts 1 game, I probably will just keep him. I just don't really want to use a goalkeeper transfer this late in the season, and if we were to look at replacements, probably Martinez is the most natural. Yes, we could go for someone like an Areola, Southampton at home is a good fixture, or I guess we could look at Raya to complete our Arsenal defensive triple up. Now the reason I don't want to go for Raya is my planned transfer all along was going to be Cole Palmer out for Saka, and then it was going to be to captain Saka with those good fixtures. Now yes, there might be some concern with the Champions League, he hasn't started the last Premier League games, but I do kind of feel like after the Champions League game, which they should progress, what's there left to play for Arsenal? Now the league might actually be over in a few game weeks time, and therefore Saka might not be the best pick, as if he's not racking up that match fitness, I don't exactly know how many games and minutes he'll be getting. But still, I believe if he gets the majority of minutes in Game Week 33's double, he's the best Camsey option, and therefore this move does look pretty locked in. Obviously just wait for those Champions League games to progress. If Saka gets injured, the transfer plan will switch around, but I can see 1 free transfer being used on this move. Now with that second free transfer, if Edison is out we could use it, otherwise if Edison's okay, we might use it for a more attacking move, but this would result in me benching or selling Isaac. Now at the moment I do favour taking out Murphy instead of Isaac because there's a more nailed Aston Villa midfielder than their attackers, and that's obviously going to be Rodgers. Now even though those Aston Villa fixtures aren't too great even from an attacking and a defensive point of view, might just be worth going for Rodgers as I think he could still perform well. Now the caveat to this was, do I think Isaac scores against Aston Villa? Potentially, and therefore it might just be better to bank the transfer and keep it for a rainy day, aka blank Game Week 37. But I just wanted to showcase the possibilities I could make with that second free transfer as long as Edison's back fit. So at the moment the transfer plan does look like just wait on Edison news, otherwise Saka in for Palmer does look locked in, and then my Camsey will change to the Arsenal midfielder. I'm just going to wait though, there's no reason to make transfers late in the season for team value. We have Champions League football as well as double Game Week 32 content still, and I'll update you guys on my team selection late in the week once all that is ended. But what are your planned transfers for upcoming Game Week 33? Let me know in the comments down below or my Discord server. Try and answer as many questions over there, link in the description. Otherwise, good luck for Game Week 32's conclusion. Let's hope for an absolute goal fest there. And I'll see you guys later in the week for the rest of the Game Week 33 content. This is basically a rough video, guys. Hope you guys did enjoy it. Please don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet. Bell notifications on for all that content coming up. But for the time being, I'm signing off. It's me, Dayvy FPL, and I'm out. Cheers, bye.